Hello everyone, I'm Darth Loquitur. Welcome to my channel. If you're a newer player or just looking to get more efficient at Grand Arena, this channel is made for you. Today, we're going to take a look at my non-hyperdrive alt account after 60 days of play. I hit level 78 and I was able to unlock the Tier 3 fleet challenges and successfully get my first 2 Zeta materials out of there, so I'll show you how I did that. I'll go over the next steps with the account, what characters I'm working on, how I'm doing the gear, what I'm spending my currency on in the shops. And then finally, we'll talk about a nice tactic, potentially a bit cheesy, but it's a way to unlock these nodes and get 3 stars relatively early so that you can just go back and sim these nodes without too much trouble. So, first day, I didn't get 3 stars. I'll show the video at the end of the ship battles. The first one was a bit rough. I 1-starred it. The second one, I 2-starred it. So I haven't been able to 3-star the challenge on my first 2 tries, but I did get it. And we got those first 2 Zeta materials, so that's good stuff. The account is level 78. We're almost 400,000 galactic power. And as you can see from the breakdown over here, almost half of that's in ships. So we have 211 in characters and 188,000 in ships. We have 8 characters at 7 stars. We've got 4 teams fully unlocked with all 5 characters, and they're gearing up. We've got the Geos just waiting on the alpha. And then we've consistently hit that top 1,000 that we want in the arena. A lot of times we're hitting top 500. A few days we've even clawed our way almost up to top 200, but those are few and far between now as more people get geared up on their hyperdrive accounts. And we're killing it in fleet. I'll show that video at the end as well. We actually climbed to number 3 today, and I did it too early, and somebody knocked me back down to number 5, so we actually achieved rank 5, but I achieved rank 3. I just couldn't hold on to it until the payout. But you can see for rank 5, we're getting 300 crystals out of that, 1,500 fleet currency for the store, and 120,000 fleet building materials. So that's a really nice payout. This is what we're focused on, doing well in fleet, and we're going to continue to do that. So the next steps in the account, we're going to continue with the fleet strategy. We're really going to push on these pilots still. 3 of the pilots are Geonosians, and that's one of our teams anyway. So building those pilots as a good team at the same time, no problem to continue with that. Once we get all these ships to 6-star and see how all that works out, we may taper off, slow down a little bit on the pilots. We'll have to see. But we do have one more tier of challenge to unlock eventually, so I'd like to get there as soon as we can. For the hard nodes on regular energy, we're farming Sith Trooper. We're just going to keep farming that node till we get him to 7 stars. He's one of the characters we really need to be huge. We're farming the Django node every day now, and that includes the Houndstooth as well, so that's a fantastic node to farm. We want Django, we want Houndstooth, so we'll hit that every day. And then the Snow Trooper node, this happens to be a great node also. There's 2 characters on the node. There's good materials for farming. I think it has stun cuffs or carbantes or something on the node as well. So 3 really good nodes that we're farming every day for hard nodes. And then the rest, watch my gear strategy video to understand what I'm talking about there. But all the rest of our regular energy, aside from these 3 hard farms, goes into one of the 3 pieces of perma-farm gear. Stun cuffs, stun guns, and carbantes. In the cantina, we're going to take Jedi Knight Anakin up to 7 stars. For fleet, we're working on Sunfax node, Slave 1 node, and Anakin's ship. For the mods, we're working on speed mods. I'm behind in getting my characters modded up. I've literally only got 4 characters right now that I've been satisfied that I've got good enough mods to kind of, bring them up to level 15. Maybe I'm too picky on mods here in the early game, but in order to generate more mods to look at, I'm going to start doing 1 refresh per day, maybe even 2 if I have to. We're going to start doing some mod energy refreshes and just pump more mods into the account so that we have more stuff to look at, so that we can get some of these speed mods up and running. We have 5 or 6 characters that we want to have be reasonably fast, so I may have to lower my expectations on speed mods. That's still something I'm working out as I go along. So alphas, I talk a lot about alphas in my prior videos, and an alpha character is just somebody that we want to be the biggest character on a particular squad. Typically it's a damage dealer, and we just want them to have enough damage that we can, punch through the enemy. And then the other characters in the squad will be, potentially support characters, tanks, things like that to make it all work. And what that means is that in terms of gearing, if 5 characters need Carbantes and stun cuffs, then these key characters are always going to get those Carbantes and stun cuffs and stun guns before the rest of the people. So pilots first, alphas second, and then everybody else gets gear as they get it. So for example, Sith Trooper, I've talked before about his mechanic. He assists when other characters get crits, first order, or Sith characters get crits. So we put him as a really big character on a team with other Sith and first order, and we set them up to get a few critical hits. He'll assist, and his damage output is just crazy. Just crazy. Every time he assists on his basic attack, he's half killing somebody. So we're going to get him up real strong. Snow Trooper, same thing. I've gone through the Imperial Trooper lineup and why Snow Trooper has to be your best geared, biggest character, 7-star, potentially relic as soon as we can to make that team work. Jedi Knight Anakin, same way. Great character, great ship, great damage dealer. All around, just one of those characters that you want to invest in early. And once we get our Padme team up and running, he's the key damage dealer on the Padme team as well. So he's definitely worthy of our focus. Boba Fett, again, we're looking to make Boba Fett into a character where potentially can solo an opposing team, or together with Jango Fett, the two of them can solo an opposing team. These bounty hunters are wicked early on against weaker teams, and they have the ability to kill things permanently, which can be a real pain if you don't have something that does that mechanic. Things like Night Sisters or other teams can really be a pain. But Boba Fett, his rocket puts him down for good, and that's a good mechanic to develop and have, even if you just have to stick him into another team to get that mechanic. We want him to be big enough to be able to pop people with that missile and put him down for good. The Brood Alpha and Enfys Nest, we have to wait for those. I mean, the Brood Alpha we can't unlock until we get tier 8 of the Cantina going, and I think that's level 82. So we just have to wait to get Brood Alpha. Once we get Brood Alpha, we're going to want the Brood Alpha to go straight to the top as quick as we can and get a lot of good gear and stars on that Brood Alpha to make that character run the team. Enfys Nest, same way. The fleet nodes are notoriously hard. By the time you get to unlocking the level 5 hard fleet nodes, those fleets are pretty tough from the AI. So we want our fleet that's why we're continuing to focus on the fleet for the challenge, and also to get Enfys Nest unlocked. I can't tell you guys enough. You get Enfys Nest up to a high level, to high gear, even relic level, and she will solo another very good team. On my main account, my Relic 7 Nest can solo Padme teams, can solo Geonosian teams, Ewoks, a bunch of other teams that you see show up a lot. Enfys Nest just goes in there and steamrolls them as one character. And that gets you so many banners in the Grand Arena. You get 63, 64 banners out of that for a win. So she's huge. She's a big part of our plan. We got to get that node unlocked as soon as possible and then build her up as soon as possible. With the shop, same strategy as before. Buying key gear pieces. Again, watch the gear video to understand how all that works. Galactic War Store, Poggle and ships. Fleet Store, ships and Vader. The Guild Event, Tier 1 currency, gear and ships. For the Cantina Store, just to be clear, for the Cantina and Squad Arena Store, we still have a couple characters that we want to finish out to 7 stars. But once we get this Stormtrooper to 7 stars, we're just going to keep buying Stormtrooper shards over and over and over and over and over again and convert those to currency for the shard store, because we're going to want a lot of stuff out of the shard store, especially for when we start relicking characters. Again, watch the gear video if you want to understand how all that works, but I want to start generating a lot of shard currency early, and I'm not interested in unlocking a bunch more characters. Once I've got my allotment of characters unlocked, I'm satisfied, I'm done for a while. Now, we will want to unlock other characters out of the Squad Arena and Cantina stores later, but for right now, we're going to finish out the characters that are in the plan, get them 7 stars, and then just be done with it. For Squad Arena, we got to finish out Tarkin, Leia, and then same thing, shards. Now, just to explain, with Luke and Leia, we do have a Rebel team going. We have Luke and Leia, and they are horrible characters. We do not want to invest a lot in them. If we want to unlock Commander Luke Skywalker, we've got to get them both to 7 stars. But on my main account, I believe that I unlocked CLS with maybe Gear 8, Gear 7 on these characters. I just put really good mods on them from different characters and took them through the event, and then put them on the shelf, and they were never seen again. So these characters are placeholders, the Leia and this Luke. We're going to have to invest in them to get our CLS. We really want that CLS as one of our early leaders. But these Leia and Farm Boy Luke will definitely get replaced on this team by R2-D2 for sure. And another good rebel if we get Chewbacca unlocked, if we get enough bounty hunters to unlock him, for example, or Han Solo from the Rancor raid. But we'll get another good rebel to put in this team to take those 2 back out. So if you're following the account and you're trying to build this like I'm doing, just don't overinvest in Farm Boy Luke or Leia. You got to get them to 7 stars, but don't overinvest in their gear. So getting 3 stars on light side and dark side Cantina content. Now, this may be considered a little bit cheesy by some, but what we're going to do is we're going to find some high-level friends. And if you go into the guild and you look for guilds, there's a lot of guilds that don't let people in unless you're level 85. They don't let people in unless you're 3.5 million galactic power, requirements all over the place. But there are a lot of guilds out there. There's quite a few that have an experienced player that's been around for a long time. Maybe they just started their own guild to have a guild going way back in the day. And, they're up around 4 million galactic power. They can solo the raids. And they let anybody into the guild just because they remember that it was hard at first and they're, paying it forward. But that's what I've done on my Darth Loquitur account. We've joined a guild with nice people, with, good leader who says, hey, it's okay, we'll help out some noobs and let lower level people join. So it's not it's not a let's say, top tier guild, but they're not trying to be a top tier guild. They're casual, they play the raids, they expect participation when you can in the battles. But you can join a guild like that. And if you do, you're going to find some people in that guild with high level characters, and you can invite them as friends, and some of them will accept your invite. When you go looking for a character to add to your team for light side battle, dark side battle, or Cantina, sometimes one of these monster characters will show up on your friends list, and it seems to be completely random. I don't know exactly how that works, but from time to time they'll show up. So when you got a node that you really want a 3-star, you just check back from time to time. And then the key to this is you don't need to have 5 characters. For the longest time, I thought the only way you could 3-star a node was to have all 5 of your characters survive, but it's not true. All you have to do is have all the characters that you put in survive. So you want to put in a couple characters that you know can survive or who will call assists. So if we want to watch this in action, I prepared this quick video. So here we're looking around. We've got this node that we haven't been able to complete. And here's one of our friends. He's got a 30,000 GP Jedi Knight Revan. And he can solo this node, no problem. So we're going to put in Ahsoka and 5s and just have a couple of our characters in here. Yep, I know that we're going with a squad that's not full. And then we're just going to go through here real easy, just basics. Kill a guy, do some damage over there. We're going to call Revan to assist. Kill another guy, and then basic on this, that's round 1. Round 2 is going to be similarly easy. We're just saving up our skills, right? We don't want to use the big skills. We want to save those for tier 3, where the boss is. Get a couple counterattacks from 5s. That makes this real easy. We're done. And now we come in here, and we do the area effect move with Jedi Knight Revan, and that's going to wipe out everything but Vader, and pass it over to Ahsoka Tano. Here we go. Everybody die. Good. Do a little bit of damage. Hit Vader again. Comes back around. Mass assist. Vader's dead. Now, only 2 characters in. 2 characters survived. 3 stars. Boom. Done. Now we've got that content unlocked, and anytime we want to go back and sim it, we can sim it. So, yeah, maybe it's a bit cheesy, but it's a way for y'all to be able to unlock that content, let's say earlier than you're supposed to. Yeah, it's the value of having big friends. All right. If you like these videos, if it's helping you at all, please give my channel a like, give it a subscribe. Come back and watch more videos in the future. I really appreciate any support that you could give me. The channel's going pretty well. And for those who want to stick around, I'll show you these fleet battles to beat Tier 3, and I'll show you my fleet battle to get to rank number 3 in fleet arenas for the day. All right, so here's the first attempt. I'm clearing out my ships. I put the Sunfac and Soldier and Silencer as my first 3. We're going to reinforce first most of the time with the Spy and get his big assist. And especially if we can keep both of our Geos alive, that's a lot of damage when we get that reinforce ability. So we're going after Plo here first because we don't want to deal with his giving people taunt, and it makes it very difficult to focus one target when he's throwing taunt up. But as you can see, we lost our Sunfac very quickly. So now we're just trying to get ability blocks on him, I guess. Do a little bit of damage here with TIII Silencer. And the battle gets pretty boring here. We're just trading hits back and forth. He brings in another ship with taunt. So I want to go after the Consular, but out of luck, got to go after this Clone Sergeant. All right, now we're going to bring in our Spy. Try to do some big damage with this assist. It's okay. We're whittling him away. 3 ships to 3 ships still, so we feel like we're in it. But now he's got taunt on 5s, and once we do this hit, now we can't go back to the Clone Sergeant. So we're stuck shooting 5s, and spreading our damage all over the place again. Resisted the stun, couldn't even get that. So we're working on 5s now. Sergeant gets taunt back. 4 ships to 2 now. It's increasingly dire. But you know, from the title that you already know we're going to pull this out, right? So we're gonna pull it off. So here we go. We got big damage from the Spy. Bring in Ahsoka Tano, clear off that buff. Go over here, finish off Sergeant. Now we're back to 3 to 3. It's not horrible as it used to be a minute ago. Take down this 5s. The next reinforce is interesting because he brings in a ship, and it's another Jedi Consular. And I'm looking at it for a second going, wait, what? Is that really 2 Jedi Consulars? Yes, I guess it is. So that's inconvenient, and I don't want to really have to deal with them swapping back and forth their abilities, and that assist just does so much damage. It's crazy. So we're down to 2 ships, and one of them's almost dead. We're going to get a reinforce up here, though, so we'll be able to bring in the Clone Sergeant. Now, my ult is up on my capital ship, but my Tarkin has 0 skill ups in any of his stuff. He's level 55, I think, or something like that. And he doesn't have any skill ups in any of the skills, so that ult hits like a wet noodle. So you can see even here, I'm like, nah, I'm not going to do the ult. It's not going to do enough to be significant. So here we're just going for damage. We're trying to get this guy out of here. Lose our Spy. Get a pretty good hit off here. Take him down. Now we can do our ult, and we should have enough to actually kill him off. So not pretty at all, but 1 star. Zeta materials in the bank, so we're good with that. Second time, we're going to try something a little different. We come in here and do the consular first. Don't get a stun on him. I wish we got that stun. But he's dividing up his damage a little more this time, so resisted on the stun again for the consular. And now they put taunt on 5s. And this is inconvenient because 5s is the ship that we don't want to really be attacking here. At least I think. You know, as I play this out, maybe I'll decide that 5s really is the best first target, but it doesn't seem like it. It seems like it'd be better to kill the consular first. So now we've got 2 taunts up, a bunch of buffs. It's crazy. But we are going to go ahead and still bring in the spy as the reinforcement because we've got both of our geos alive, and this mass assist is going to be just a ton of damage. So that's good. And yeah, we got 5s out of there. So we're looking in a lot better shape than we did the first match. We're work on this clone sergeant again. He's got a lot of just chunky characters with recovery and all kinds of stuff over there. So this is why you got to have pretty darn good ships and pretty darn good pilots to be able to beat this challenge at level 78 right when it unlocks. It's a puzzle. You got to pick it apart. But we're doing better. 4-3. Now our spy's almost dead. But we got a bunch of our good abilities coming up. We got Ahsoka Tano coming in. She's going to take off the stuff from the consular. Almost finish off the sergeant. A big hit from the other Ahsoka. And we're going to do the mass assist here. We don't really need to, but we just want to make sure that clone sergeant is done. Now we can go after this consular finally. Maybe Ahsoka's a better target here, but I just felt like this consular is annoying, so we're going to go after him and get him out of here. Get a stun on him, that's good. And work him down. Go for the damage offense up buff. And now we can work on Ahsoka. And Plo gets the taunt, so now again we're stuck hitting somebody we don't want to hit. That's these characters, the character combination that they have on this is really annoying. So we're going to go ahead and use the alt here, I think. Yeah, we think about the reinforcement and then we just go ahead and do the alt because it's going to take them low. Again, it's pretty pathetic damage for the Tarkin alt, but that finishes it off. And we got 2 stars this time. It's better than the 1 star we got the first time. It wasn't quite as scary, but yeah, as we work through this, maybe we'll find a combination of moves and attacks that does better and that'll allow us to get 3 stars on it. All right, so here's my rise to number 3. This guy's got a TIE advanced with a gear 12 Vader. What is that? A gear 11, 10 or 11 on the Kylo Ren unmasked. So it's a good team, and I don't really think I'm going to win. I think this is kind of my last battle of the day, and I'm just kind of throwing it out there to see what happens. But we got to go after the Darth Vader ship first. And if you haven't watched my other videos, I talk about the TIE silencer. When you face a TIE silencer, do not touch the silencer until you are ready to commit to killing it. It gets offense up every time it gets hit in combat for the rest of the combat. And if you hit him 3, 4, 5 times and cycle up his damage, he just hits way too hard. So wait on that silencer until you're ready to kill a silencer. And then once you do, you really just got to go all in on it. So here we're thinking about Cad Bane. And then we say, okay, I think we're ready to go in on the TIE silencer because we can stun it. And we have this move following it up with the big damage from my own TIE silencer. And then we get the mass assist here. So we had a series of things. We knew we could take him out, so took out Kylo. All right, and then we start working on Cad Bane. And this is going, better than expected, right? So it's he's going to get a reinforce again here very soon because the Phantom allows you to reduce your cooldown on reinforce. So that allows the opponent to reinforce twice in a row pretty much. So he'll have another reinforce coming up, but he doesn't get to it. We take him out before that. So he's lucky, just lucky that we had enough damage and got place number 3. But you can see we've got 37 minutes left to the prize payout, and that was too early. and sometime before the payout, whoever was in the 5th slot knocked me down from 3rd to 5th, which yeah, I don't mind. It's fine. I'm still pleased as punch that I was able to get up to number 3 against the team that was much higher. How high was that team? It's 219,000 against our 151. So it's what 70,000 higher than us, and we managed to win. So pretty good stuff. Maybe pretty lucky, but that's the show for today. That's my account after 60 days. I'm just going to keep documenting this so that you know, in the future, if people want to come back and look and see what I was doing with the account as I went along, it's all documented and available. So again, if you like these videos, give it a like, give it a subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you all.